babysitter told our daughter, "Give this to your parents when you're alone." I heard those words through the baby monitor app on my phone while sitting in the restaurant parking lot waiting for my takeout order. My wife and I had hired the babysitter through an agency just 3 weeks ago to watch our 3 kids while we grabbed dinner at the Italian place downtown. She was pressing something into my 13-year-old daughter Stella's hands while glancing nervously toward the windows like she expected someone to be watching. The babysitter kept checking over her shoulder and whispering urgently to Stella, who looked confused but was nodding along. I abandoned the takeout and called my wife, who was at the pharmacy picking up allergy medicine, and told her to meet me at home immediately because something felt very wrong. By the time I pulled into our driveway doing 60 in a residential zone, the babysitter was already walking to her car, acting completely normal and waving goodbye like nothing had happened. Stella was standing at the living room window, holding what looked like a thick manila envelope against her chest, looking confused and scared. Everything about this felt wrong. "Everything okay tonight?" I asked the babysitter, trying to keep my voice steady while my wife's car screeched around the corner behind me. She smiled and said the kids were absolute angels, and that bedtime went perfectly smoothly, but her hands were trembling as she fumbled with her keys, and she kept checking her mirrors like someone might be following her. After she peeled out of our driveway way too fast, we rushed inside and found Stella in her room, sitting cross-legged on her bed and staring at a sealed manila envelope that looked like it had been stuffed full. She said to give this to you when we were completely alone, and not to let anyone else see it, and that it was really important you get it tonight because tomorrow might be too late. My wife grabbed the envelope from Stella's hands while I ran upstairs to check on our younger kids, who were thankfully sound asleep in their beds. The envelope felt heavy and had something hard inside, along with what felt like a stack of papers. My wife's face went chalk white because Stella was adopted, and we'd always feared something exactly like this might happen with her biological parents trying to make contact, even though the adoption had been closed and sealed by the court. What if her birth mother wants her back or is trying to challenge the adoption? My wife's voice cracked as she voiced what we'd both been absolutely terrified of since the day we brought Stella home 13 years ago, when she was just 3 days old. The adoption had been completely legal and ironclad, but biological parents sometimes changed their minds or tried to establish contact, especially now with those DNA websites making it easier to track down anyone. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen drawer and carefully sliced open the envelope while Stella watched from the doorway, looking scared and holding onto the doorframe for support. Inside were several documents and photographs that made my stomach drop straight through the floor. The first thing I saw was an old birth certificate with Stella's original name and the babysitter's name listed as the biological mother. Behind that were DNA test results from one of those ancestry websites, showing a 99.9% parent-child match between them. My wife grabbed Stella and pulled her close while I kept going through the papers with trembling fingers trying to understand what this woman wanted from our family. The next document was a mugshot of a man I'd never seen before with dead eyes and a neck tattoo, along with his violent criminal record showing multiple arrests for aggravated assault and domestic violence and attempted kidnapping of a minor. Behind that was a printed screenshot of text messages between the babysitter and this man, where he was demanding she help him get his daughter back and describing what he'd do to her if she didn't cooperate. The most recent message from yesterday said, "I know where they live and what school she goes to, and I'm done waiting. I'll take what's mine whether you help or not, you worthless piece of garbage." At the bottom of the stack was a handwritten note in shaky writing from the babysitter explaining she'd been searching for years just to know Stella was safe, but never planned to make contact until her ex found out through a cousin's DNA match. He got out of prison 6 weeks ago, and he's completely obsessed with taking her and says he'll grab her no matter what the law says because she's his blood. I called 911 while my wife ran through the house, locking all the doors and windows and grabbing the aluminum baseball bat from our bedroom closet. Police cars filled our entire driveway within minutes with lights flashing, and an officer took the envelope as evidence while another started asking rapid-fire questions. 2 hours later, they arrested him sitting in his black pickup truck 3 blocks from our house with a loaded gun, zip ties, and a bottle of chloroform in a bag marked with Stella's name.